Hello and welcome to a special add-on to Cryptovestor's Corner. I got the one and only Cryptovestor here. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a beautiful Tuesday.
Yep.
And we have a ton to talk about because today we saw the airdrop of the Prisma token out to anyone that voted for it on VECRV. And then there is an upcoming airdrop that probably may have gone out by now that is going out to people who were using the Prisma protocol before the token was issued. So let's just start at the top. Like, what is Prisma and why are you so excited about it?
Well, I mean, Prisma, as you know, is just it is a liquidity fork, and that's how it started. But it's a lot more than that, and I think that that's the part that people have been missing. I started diving into this about maybe 2 months ago when there were rumors about Convex acquiring Prisma, and I started seeing some things like some votes out there on Snapshot where you would be able to claim the airdrop as the liquid staking derivative, right? So CVX Prisma. And that got me thinking. And what I think, most people missed was the fact that what I kind of called, or I think I termed it DropLock, kind of took place. And what that basically means is that you're claiming this airdrop in the liquid staking derivative, and it's automatically getting locked into the Convex platform. We've never seen that before. That's never happened before. And I think as of right now, they're already a majority stakeholder or a majority holder of Prisma. And that will continue to happen as time passes, and I'll explain a little bit how that works. But as Convex continues to grow and continues to acquire more Prisma, their voting power over the remaining emissions becomes bigger. And you would be like, okay, well, what does that mean? And how does that really affect things? And why is that so important? And I think the piece that people are missing is that Prisma, even though it is for liquid staking derivatives, LSDs, ETH-based LSDs, it has a feature to boost a staked curve pool. And so Prisma is sort of in line with, CRV. And basically what I think Frax can do now, and this is why I think I'm so bullish for, how this is very bullish for Frax, is because you're basically going to be able to, especially initially, there's going to be 9 million tokens that's going to be released in the next month. And so it's 2.25 million tokens per week. And those tokens are going to be basically emitted to a lying share to Frax ETH vault, and also the FrxETH, the mkUSD Frax BP pool. And so I think that's going to be a game changer. And it's probably going to start what I consider the Prisma Wars.
Yeah, that's a good term. Just to show what's going on, if you're a stake FrxETH holder, you can take your ETH, deposit it into one of the vaults here at Prisma Finance, and then they will actually pay you for the borrow. So you'll earn anywhere between 9.64% and 19.27% as of right now. You can choose a custom amount of Frax to put in, and then also your collateralization ratio. It's probably best to stick to whatever the average is. Here it's about 194%, so 200 is probably a good amount, which means that you have 2 times the amount of stake FrxETH that goes in versus the amount of debt that you're taking. And then you can use that mkUSD to come over to the earn section and do all sorts of things with it. So here we can see all of the different pools. There's a stability pool, which helps in times of liquidation. But more importantly, there is a mkUSD Frax base pool, either through Curve or Convex, that is getting somewhere between 17.5 fully boosted all the way up to 34.14 or 38%, depending if you use Curve or Convex.
Correct. And so what I'm contending is that those APRs that you're seeing there, that 38% boosted APR is probably going to be somewhere north of 100%, possibly. I mean, that's a hypothetical number, but imagine a situation where, I don't know if you can go to the first page again. Yeah, the vaults. Okay, so imagine a situation where right now that's paying what, like between 9 and 19%. Imagine that being anywhere between 50 and 75% because of the CVX that Frax holds, along with Convex's CVX, right? The C2 and the team and whatever. I mean, they can vote in different ways, but let's just assume for a minute that they vote, in majority here for stake FrxETH. That pool, that vault is going to have a 50% APY, and then you're going to be able to take that mkUSD and deposit it into this pool, the FrxBP pool, which is going to increase Frax's supply. And you might be able to earn another 40 or 50% or whatever. I don't know what the numbers are because the math here is complicated and the variables are changing quickly. But because Prisma has the ability to emit to these pools, I think you're going to see something kind of a mini explosion here.
Yeah. And just to bring it a little bit wider out for the Frax protocol itself, the reason that this is such a big event is because here's a tweet that you published. Frax is fully integrated in with Curve and Convex and soon to be Prisma, and it will benefit from all three doing well. And so with Frax being such a large part of the Convex ecosystem, you can see the governance weights that Convex actually controls. So Frax by proxy has access to all these governance votes that it can use to vote for liquidity for its Frax pools.
Exactly. And one thing that I think that needs to be clarified, and I don't know, it's complicated, but the farming rewards moving forward. So as you get these rewards from the Prisma Vault and from mkUSD staking, they'll be able to be claimed on the Convex site as CVX Prisma. So these 9 million tokens in the next month are basically majority going to be locked in Convex. And, or they could take the 50% cut, right? But what I think Convex is going to do with their new pool is probably try to aim for a higher peg, a 60% peg, so that farmers are incentivized to lock in Convex, and then, get the majority lying share of the remaining emissions. And that's just going to make it so that, they control more. And like you said, the fees from Prisma are going to get sent over to Convex Treasury and to CVX Prisma stakers. And the fees that, eventually FrxETH will generate for Frax protocol will also trickle down to Convex. And so it is. And then another thing which people aren't talking about much is you showed it there in your screen. Like there's also a Curve USD pool, Curve USD mkUSD pair. And so I don't know if you noticed what happened when they initially launched, but the fee, the supply of Curve USD, if you look at that right there, that pool, which is earning 17% right now, right? 17 to 35 to 34. That pool, when Prisma first launched, it caused the supply of Curve USD to move up. It also reduced the interest rates of Curve USD. And that, I think, is a very, very key factor, because this is going to be a huge supply sink for Curve USD, which is going to mean that more fees for CRV USD, for VE, CRV lockers. And that all benefits the Frax ecosystem and the Convex ecosystem by default. Oh, I can't hear you, Sam. I think you're muted.
Got you. The fees for Prisma are also set to increase as well too.
Yeah.
Ivan from Gearbox has proposed to raise the default interest rate for all vaults from 1% to 2%, and I mean that's a 100% increase in fees.
Right, and the truth is, 2% is still, I don't want to call it free money, but in an environment now where you can stake Frax, and get close to 5%, a little over 5%. 2% is still within, it's still profitable. So if you can take your FrxETH, so paint this picture, if you could take your FrxETH, stake it, earn 50, we'll call it 50%, on the vault, and then go ahead and take that mkUSD and then take it and deposit it into the curve pool and earn an additional 50%, you know, and have all of this roll. I mean, the bottom line is you're going to see a lot of FrxETH minting. And I think that people are just not prepared for what's about to happen.
Exactly. And so you know, we all know that these rates are going to normalize the 50% that we're seeing right now. So in 3, 4 months, 5 months, when everything kind of dies down and the rates kind of normalize, now you have an opportunity where you can put stake FrxETH in, borrow at 2%, and then deposit it into the either sfrax or sdi or whatever kind of vault that you want to arbitrage those rates.
Right. And what happens then when, you know, everything is so lopsided towards Frax, you know, and the remaining vaults that are on there, like, you know, Rocket Pool and cbETH and Lido, they're going to be caught flat-footed. And, you know, their vaults are going to be 2%, while Frax is going to be, you know, 30%, we'll call it, or whatever. So it's going to incentivize more LSDs, especially newer ones, right, smaller ones, to either buy Convex, participate in that war. And that's going to mean Convex price up. That's also going to mean bribes up, you know, and then VE CRV fees up. So that also increases CRV price. And then it just kind of sort of snowballs. So I really think that this is sort of the spark. Prisma Wars is kind of like Curve Wars 2.0. And it is a spark that is going to hopefully, I mean, if we kind of are looking at the numbers correctly, hopefully, you know, inject new life into, we saw a little bit of it like a few weeks, like when it first launched, like how everything kind of was crazy. I think we're going to continue to see that because of the amount of voting power that Frax controls.
Exactly. And since it's distributed across both Curve and Convex, and now Prisma, because Frax will have voting power through Convex, voting power from the Curve that they use to vote for Prisma. That's pretty significant in the long term. And seeing how this interplay between Curve USD, mkUSD, and Frax plays out over the next few months is going to be pretty incredible.
Right. And one last thing, you know, I don't know. Well, I think I mentioned it in the article, but you also have the factor that I saw that Tetranode tweet, you know, where right now the fee switch is really it's not turned on, but I'm assuming, you know, we raised the rates to 2%. I'm assuming that fee switch is going to get turned on. So like you said, it's the VECRV fees, it's the Prisma fees coming in to CVX Prisma stakers or Prisma lockers. So you're going to have revenue from many different sources here, FrxETH. And so I think it's going to be a really interesting thing to watch over the next month, I think.
Yeah, I fully agree. Well, you can find all the information in the latest article from Cryptovestor. This is a bi-weekly article that he's writing for Flywheel, and it covers all the alpha that you miss in Telegram chat because there's so much, and it just happens on a daily basis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Sam. It's always a pleasure, and look forward to doing this more often.
Awesome. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure to come and subscribe to Flywheel if you're not. This will be on our website at Flywheel DeFi. Also subscribe to us on Twitter and YouTube where you're watching this. All right. See you again next time.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.